Hey, and welcome back. It is your creative weird makeup artist friend Cat Sketch to bring you another video. Chit chat, get ready with me because I have been through it, and we are going to talk about what happened in Texas, what I went through personally, and put on some makeup. So subscribe for more videos like this. We do 2 videos a week, every Monday and Friday. Beauty, makeups, body paintings, effects videos. We'll talk about spooky, scary stories or just life in general. So subscribe and hit that notification bell for some more. Now, before we get started playing with the new Mint Melt E.L.F. cosmetics that came in this cute bucket full of like just everything mint, we need to talk about what happened in Texas. I'm trying not to talk too much about politics. I've been so excited about this primer and it sounds weird. Ooh, it's green. But we just need to talk about it because Texas, not only Texas, but other electric companies across the US are usually privatized and they're old. Like a lot of the electric companies were built infrastructure-wise around the 1950s to 60s and haven't been updated, and when it was built they only had like a 50-year lifespan, and we're like around 10 years over that, specifically in Texas, who is owned by ERCOT. ERCOT is this big corporation that runs the electricity in Texas. Texas, apart from other states across the US, basically has their own electricity line, but it's so old that it's like, what? They try to make it not sound like it's as risky as it is by saying, oh, so much percentage of like wind turbine is contributed to providing electricity for Texans, but that's only around 10%, and so many of like excuses lately. It's just a mess. So what happened? Basically, we had rolling blackouts because we had the coldest weather in Texas for the past 122 years. And ERCOT's excuse for why we lost power, water, like people were buying out the grocery stores, propane, generators, just everything. Their excuse was that they had to cut electricity for at least 24 hours or else we would have been without it for over a month. But they weren't giving us any statistics on numbers for us to make us feel better. We just had to trust them. So what happened was, when I was up late, like early in the morning, I want to say around 1 to 2 a.m. on Monday, I was trying to get the video I posted up Friday up then. And I was still editing just the last bits of it to post it in the morning. And that's when our power started to shut off. It would happen, it would go out, be out for like an hour or so, then come back. And we have rolling blackouts sometimes in Texas due to the heat, but we had such cold weather that went down to 12 degrees. In northern Texas went down to 1 degree. Texans don't know what to do with 1 degree. In the south of the US, I know a lot of people in the north of the US were making fun of us because they have negative temperatures, but when you live in the south, our infrastructure and everything is not prepared for this cold of weather. Meaning we don't have trucks to salt like the ice, to have shovels and we don't even have plows for snow. We don't. And on top of that, Texans are so proud of being so independent that a lot of our agriculture and produce and stuff in our grocery stores also happens to come from other parts of Texas because we're so huge. You could drive 20 hours and still not be out of Texas right through the middle of it. So all of our roads were iced over, so the trucks could not even get produce and food to the grocery stores in a lot of places. So people were panic buying on top of that. I still don't know when I'm gonna be able to get groceries or water because we do have power back. That's why I am able to film this video today, but we don't have running clean water at the moment, and I'm filming this on a Friday, February 19th. Still don't have running clean water. So I had to wash my hands in Dawn with boiling water and a mix of bottled water before I filmed this video. But lucky me, I've been camping growing up, so I'm a little bit more knowledgeable on how to go into survival mode, thank goodness for my parents. But a lot of people, I had it good. We were without power for about, I want to say 3 days. It was almost 4 days, because we would have it for 6 to 8 hours during the last time it was going out, and then it would go shut off. But we got lucky because there were people's pipes that bursted in their home, water everywhere, homes destroyed, walls, attics. Some people rarely use their fireplaces in Texas, so they didn't know that there may have been a crack in the fireplace walls. So when they lit their fireplace to use for the only warmth they could get in their home, the smoke and sparks were rising into the cracks of the fireplace and going into their attics in some moments and lighting their house on fire. There were people camping out in their cars. We did that at one point, because a lot of the houses on top of it in Texas specifically, I don't know about other states, after they're built, I want to say after 2015 or so, maybe 2016 to 18 is when they started, when they remodel, build new homes. A lot of it's all on electricity. So we didn't even have gas with a gas stove. Everything in our house is electric, unfortunately. So when we go out of power, we have to have a generator or something that's able to generate some little amounts of power, and our generators we only could light like a lamp, a heater, and like 3 to 5 items. We don't want to overpower it. It was just one of the craziest moments I've ever experienced in my life that taught me so much, and I'm so grateful for my boyfriend and my dog. It really taught me how grateful I am just to have a roof over my head, clean water, and power, because it's just taught me so much. I'm gonna use these E.L.F. little mini eyeshadows of mint, and it's so crazy. I just started getting mail after 6 days or so not receiving mail because of all this. And of course, instead of food and my family's trying to send me food and everything, the first thing that comes is makeup PR over that, which I shouldn't complain about, but it's just been insane. There were moments where my grandmother would call me. You guys have met her on this channel 4 or 5 times and could not get through to me. I had to drive to Starbucks to get internet to be able to even hopefully get a signal to contact my family. We had to have a shortage of gas to get our generator going to have some sort of power and heat, because the temperatures in the house were getting into the 30s and outside was 12 to 16 degrees. And I don't want my puppy to be super cold to where it's painful. So we had to wait in gas lines of 13 people in front of us, and I'm so thankful that Bunny was lucky enough, her family let us borrow some gas tanks to get our generator started, because it was looking bleak. People were waiting. There were lines of 20 people or more into the street for gas. Grocery stores would get stock of food in one night, and the next day it would be a lot of it sold out. There are still people, we had over 4 million Texans not have power, clean water for a couple of days. There are some Texans that only had an outage for a couple of minutes, but there's for a couple of days. And on top of it, the people that did get power during these days that others didn't, their electricity bill for that day would be $1,000 to $2,000, because all the generated electricity was going to them and rarely distributed to other people. I don't even know how that works. So they have to somehow figure out how to dispute it. And especially if they're on auto pay, their payments already went through or tried to go through for that $1,000 to $2,000 per day electricity payments. It was a mess. It still is a mess. The aftermath of this Texas blackout was so catastrophic than people even know. I know there's a lot of Red Cross relief that you could donate to help people out here. Me and Corey, our relationship, I feel like this builds it even stronger, because we both have great survival instincts. I found out we would have to wake up at 6 in the morning to find gasoline and wait in these long lines. We were lucky enough to get some propane on our outdoor grill, so I would be in like 14 to 16 degree weather at night trying to grill chicken for our meals. And I'm not complaining because we were lucky enough to get propane because a lot of it sold out the first day this all happened. I don't know what I would have done without my boyfriend Corey. We've been together for 6 years now. Without him, I would have lost a lot of food. He saved our freezer full of food. Without him, like, I don't even know how we would deal with the puppy and like just everything we went through together. So right now we are on a boil water notice because there's some brown water that comes out of our faucets when we turn it on and very low water pressure, so that water could be contaminated because the electricity has to generate enough power to run the treatment plants at our water center. So that's not generating enough electricity yet, and it was affected and frozen over with everything that happened. A lot of people's pipes were frozen. I think we had one pipe definitely in our backyard that's connected next to our kitchen. So our kitchen sink, the pipes to that aren't the same. They just have no water pressure compared to the water pressure in the rest of our home. And it's just scary because, again, a boil water notice means that I have to boil water to wash any dish, my hands. If we do shower or bathe in this water, we cannot put it in our eyes, our mouth, or anything. But you know, you just have to adapt and overcome. Some of the craziest moments was the first night when it was the coldest, right when our power went out, and we were going into the car and bringing my dog just to charge our phones, camp out a little bit, get some heat. My dog is a Labrador Retriever, Golden Retriever mix. She's like built for cold, right? And she was shivering and she had a sweater on. My dog loves wearing sweaters. And she loves the cold. It was her first time experiencing snow. What's funny is how life works, first of all, because this is our first time of it snowing in where we were living, right? And I was so excited. It was right after Valentine's Day, and we had a beautiful meal for Valentine's Day, loving gifts. We had so much great stuff, and I thought to myself and saw this all over people's Instagrams of couples like camping out in their home because it's a pandemic on Valentine's Day, and I'm like putting tents in their house with the bedding and fake lights look like a starry night and romanticizing it with flowers and chocolates in the tent and having fun things. And I thought to myself, like, wouldn't it be fun to camp at home? And that's exactly what we did. Did I predict it? Did my brain just like, ha? It's like life just slapped me in the face. You want to camp, girl? We are gonna get you to camp. It's like, I asked for too much. Like, what was I doing? Just life's comedic timing of that. Anyways, just seeing my dog shiver, like, I felt like a mother who was like, what? My dog has been through so much. TMI, like, she had a bladder infection, she had a stomach flu to where she was throwing up for 2 or 3 days every single morning right before this. And then on the last day, thank goodness it was the last day, we noticed that our dog got worms from eating snow on her first snow day because she didn't know what to do with snow but to eat it. So my dog could not catch a break to save her life. On top of living in a pandemic, born in a pandemic, and this rolling blackout snowstorm, it's like life just did not grant my puppy with anything grand. Like mother, like daughter. But like, I had to make Facebook posts on free Wi-Fi to people to make sure to let them know I was okay. And on top of that, I had to tell people, listen, don't come at me asking me about work or having me come to work. Don't come at me saying like, complaining about your life and money woes right now and how, you know, the northern states, they do it so much better. What's wrong with you guys? Don't come to me complaining about everyday tasks when I'm trying to not freak out with my cold, sick dog waiting in a line of a dozen people to try to get gas so I could have heat and food on my table that night. like stuff like this really shows me the true nature of people. The company you keep is so important. Why do I always want to use these chunky glitters? It's like I want to hurt myself or something. But it's just so crazy because it makes you realize what's important. You know, the way I look with my makeup and hair, even though it's my passion and job, does not matter at that moment. Like getting work done on time. Nothing matters but getting food on the table for me and my little family. That's what matters. Not how many views are on a video, how many comments and likes are on your posts, on your social media, if those people aren't there to really ask if everything's okay and try to help in any way, just even to talk, not anything monetary wise. I had people I haven't met from high school, like high school, middle school friends, sending me supplies. Like, it just shows like how compassionate people could still be, because sometimes I have very low hope in the world, even though I surround myself with, I think, decent humans. I'm just so lucky and fortunate, you know, it makes me feel blessed. I just feel bad for everybody who is still struggling from this. I don't even want to see my electric bill. I'm so nervous. So the thing with also Texas is you get to choose your own electric company that provides you contract, how many months or years you want to be with them, to pay a certain amount per wattage, but they're all connected to ERCOT. And oh my gosh, our Texas Senator Ted Cruz decided when all Texans, millions of people, were not without heat, electricity, water, he decided to go on a Cancun vacation at the place where he wanted to build walls and borders instead of helping out Texans. And his excuse was that his daughter was out of school, and she wanted him to go to Cancun instead of helping us in need. What? He regrets that, I'm sure. And then he left his poodle at home, I heard, in the dark. There's so many memes that I love to see of them about this whole situation with Ted Cruz. So they're saying that this could happen again, and very much worse. Not only due to cold, but because our electricity is so old, our electricity, and I don't even know if it's our electricity working right now. It could be third-party borrowed turbines or generators from our electric company working with it. So it's like I hate talking about politics, but like the older you get, you realize that it involves a lot about your life. Like your life is surrounded by politics the older you get sometimes. It just makes me realize, like, instead of investing my money in brand new beds and vacations or anything that's frivolous, I should be investing my money in deep freezers and emergency kits and canned goods and safes and survival kits and gas burner portable stoves and sleep gear and tents and four-wheel drives, vehicles. No fancy cars or nothing like that. We're in Texas. But it just shows me like the compassion also that people have, because like there's like people I barely known since moving here who offered that they have free water, drinkable water at their house, and HEB has been like giving truck drivers free meals and food from their stores. I mean, HEB, Whataburger, Buc-ee's, they've done so much for the people here than who's running as governors, and it's insane. But I just want to let you guys know my experience. If you ever have to go through something like this, oh my gosh, if you could get a hand crank radio or anything to get to the outside or hear the news, it's crazy. People have been dying of carbon monoxide because they don't know that you could die of carbon monoxide poisoning if you don't open your garage door while you turn your engine on, or bring in a gas grill that's meant for outdoors in your home to cook. I only know these things, thank goodness, because my parents took me camping. And I'm never gonna shame or be disrespectful to the dead. It's just sad that like the resources that people have aren't vast for stuff like this. We weren't prepared. Texas was not prepared for this at all. Usually our coldest days don't have snow here in this part of Texas, and it's like 23 degrees instead of 12. And if you didn't know, I'm from Houston. I'm in Houston, Texas. I've only lived here a little over a year, but I've been visiting here for a very long time. And it just comes to show that people will come together no matter what their political beliefs are and disputes. Once this stuff happens, we all try to come together and help each other out. And just like that, we have completed this look. And Chit Chat, get ready with me. I know it's weird to put on makeup and something so seemingly frivolous and excessive and something that's not a necessity when I just experienced living through a natural disaster. I just wanted to have some sort of normalcy. I don't know what it is about you guys and makeup I'm so grateful for to have y'all here and for us to share this passion, but I feel like I needed this right now to just feel like some sort of calmness and safety, because you guys are like my safe spot, as weird as that sounds. Without y'all, I don't know what I would do. You guys are almost, I shouldn't say that you're not therapists, but you give me the same relief and comfort as talking to your best friend or maybe even a good therapist, while I get to play with such cool makeup and have a cool job. I don't even see it as a job. I just see it as like a cool passion that I'm fortunate to have to share with y'all. So thank you so much for watching, for sending prayers, and for helping out with any way you can, donations, or I'll put all the links down below of any way you could help with the Red Cross or anything out here in Texas to help us Texans, because I was fortunate enough to just experience a little bit of this blackout extreme cold weather here in Texas that happened. There are people a lot less fortunate than me who have had their homes destroyed. Some elderly people have cold. Some people died in the snow, icy roads from this storm. It was extreme. And I just wanted to share that in my story. Thank you all so much for watching. You can subscribe if you want. We do videos every Monday and Friday here on this channel. Chit chats like this, effects videos, spooky stories, everything in between. We get creative here, so you can subscribe and hit the notification bell for some more. Love you, creators. Stay safe if you're in Texas. I'm so sorry you experienced this as well if you did, and I guess we just have to count our blessings. Love y'all. Bye.